Hi everybody, and welcome to Plastic Models by Regular Dude. Today is the intro video for my entry into the Persson tribute build. There's a link for that right up here that you can click on to get the information on what it's all about and why we're doing it. So without rehashing everything in the aforementioned video, I thought about what I wanted to do, had some ideas. Those didn't work out, and basically what it boils down to is it's got to be anything Swedish, whether it's something made in Sweden, like Volvo or whatever, aircraft, or it could be something from a different country pressed into Swedish service, whatever. So this is what I decided on. This is the 1/48 scale Airfix North American P51D Mustang, and this is the model design and tooling 2017. It is kit number A05131. So I chose this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I like Mustangs. Number two, it'll give me a chance to do another bare metal finish, or mostly bare metal finish. And three, because I've never in my entire life built an Airfix kit. So after doing a little bit of research and reading up on it, my local big box hobby retailer, Hobby Lobby, actually had these in stock for a really nice price. So I thought, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to give it a chance and see what they're all about. So let us take a look inside the box here and see what we've got. So just so you know, this is the first time I'm cracking this thing open. I have not monkeyed around with this at all, and the date today is August 15th, so I basically have 3.5-4 months to get this built, which should not be a problem because I've cleared the desk of almost all of my outstanding builds. So let's take a look at the contents themselves. So first off, let me say I'm not going to bore you with a big old huge detailed page by page, part by part review or anything. There's plenty of those out there. I don't need to add to it. So I'm just going to briefly look at this stuff because this is a totally new experience with Airfix here. So here's the instructions. Pretty straightforward, it looks like. Yeah, doesn't look too crazily difficult. And from the stuff I've read on this particular kit, it actually goes together pretty well. We'll look at the parts in a bit, but from what some people, the biggest complaint people seem to have is that the panel lines are kind of heavy-handed. But some people like it, some people don't. Some people it really doesn't matter. I think it comes with a little pilot figure. Well, isn't that groovy? So yeah, looks pretty good. And then these are the two color schemes that come with the kit. Little Indian, 2nd Air Commando Group, 10th Air Force, United States Army Air Force, Kalaikunda, India, 1945. That's interesting. So something from China, Burma, India theater. That's kind of cool. And then Jersey Jerk aircraft flown by Captain Donald Strait, 361st Fighter Squadron, 356 Fighter Group, United States Army Air Force, Royal Air Force, Martlesham Heath, Suffolk, England, 1945. So those are both pretty neat markings. But I won't be doing either one of those, and I'll get to that more of that later. So that's pretty much it. Here's the stencil, where all the stencil decals go. So just your typical model aircraft instructions. Okay, I got a piece of blue paper here to kind of maybe make this a little more visible, a little bit nicer to look at. The clear parts, frame E. These all look pretty good. Now, one thing I want to make a quick note of, even though I'm not going to do a real detailed review, I'm going to talk about it a little bit just because, some people may watch my channel and not be familiar with other channels. I may have never seen anybody talk about one of these at all. So that's the reason I'm doing this. So back to business. Clear parts look good, different canopies. I'll get into that once I get into the instructions. These are the lights right there. I don't know if they're landing lights. I can't remember what they're called. This is nice that the front end here of the windscreen also includes part of the fuselage, and if I'm not mistaken, it's along natural panel lines of the aircraft, which makes it a lot easier to fit and smooth things out if you have to, without it looking like you're just plunking down a piece of clear plastic on there. So that's kind of groovy. But yeah, it looks pretty good. One thing that is kind of weird, but it can be handled, is the gun sight here. Should be a nice flat clear piece, but it's got a seam line running right down the middle, so that's something to look for and clean up if necessary. Okay, sprue A, frame A as they call it. Real nice looking stuff here. Lots of very clear detail. All these panel lines. Again, some people complain that these panel lines are a little heavy. Could be the case, but a lot of people like a lot of definition in their panel lines. So I guess somebody could minimize those in some way, but I don't know how. But the detail's really good. Lots of nice rivet detail. Another one of the things I've read about this kit is that this part right here, where the wing joint is a naturally occurring, like, flange or whatever you want to call it. Can't think of the right term right now, but that would overlap the actual upper wing surface. So that's kind of nice. Cockpit area looks nice. If that's what that is. Huh. I'm gonna have to study up on that. I'm not. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Gives you all these drop tanks here, and the nice thing about these drop tanks, especially I think these are supposed to be the fiber type drop tanks, and then these are the aluminum, if I'm not mistaken. But the nice thing is the joint is right along a natural seam on this metal tank. So I'll have to do some studying and see which one I want to use on that. Now, one thing I will make note of that I'm going to have to modify, I don't have to, but I'm going to modify, is the upper wing surface. Now, from all of the things I've read, for the most part, P-51 upper wings are smooth except for the removable panels, like for ammo, machine guns, stuff like that, any kind of maintenance type things, those are removable. All the rest of the rivet detail, the rivets and the panel lines are all filled in with like a putty, and then the upper wing surface is painted some type of a silver color. So that is one thing I'm definitely going to do on this, is smooth out any rivet or panel line detail that's on there. I'm going to be filling it in with putty and stuff, so that'll be something for any of you who've never seen it done before. See how that works. Now, the ailerons here look really nice. The rudder has a nice texture to it because those are supposed to be fabric covered, I believe. So that's pretty nice looking so far. That is frame A. Frame B, same thing. Lots of really nice detail. Rivet detail is really good. Gives you two different tails. One, the fillet right here is straight and flat. Whoops. The other has a slight bit of curve to it right here, dished in just a little bit. So I'll have to see which one I'll want to use on that. Gear bay doors look good. One thing I did read about is that they did a very nice job of not having any ejector pin marks on these gear bay doors. So that is really nice. Now there's some here, but I'm not sure if they're going to be exposed or not. If so, I'll have to fill those in. The side of the cockpits, there's some ejector pin marks there, but I'm not sure if those are going to be visible or not. So I'll have to determine that and fill in if needed. That is frame B. All right, frame C. Propeller. Inner gear bay. Flaps. The pilot figure, which looks pretty good. The detail looks pretty nice on it. There's a seam line all the way around him, but there's no getting around that, I guess. But I could use him if I so desire. The lower portion of the fuselage where the gear bay doors are, and then gear bay doors closed if I wanted to do it with gear up, which might be an interesting option. I'll have to see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So anyway, that is frame C. Frame D. You got the wheels, landing gear, a bunch of small parts, probably cockpit parts, all kinds of stuff like that. So for the most part, it looks pretty good. There is some, there are some seam lines. The exhaust has got some pretty good seam lines going on in solid tips, so those would have to be drilled out. Instrument panel detail looks pretty good. Seat detail looks pretty good. I've had some people say, I've read that some people say that this is a bit exaggerated, the quilting. I don't know myself, but you know, it could be fixed or even probably aftermarket gotten for it. Rudder pedals, there's some good seam lines going around the outside of that. Bomb looks pretty nice. Spinner looks good. Nice detail on the inside of the spinner. And the wheels look pretty nice. Now one interesting thing to note here is on these diamond tread patterns here, the detail seems to vanish toward the middle. Now I don't know if that's intentional or just because of the molding process, but personally I wouldn't fret about it because, you know, these tires get a lot of wear, and I generally smooth out the center portion anyway, so it'd just be a matter of cleaning up the seam line. So that is the frame D. And frame E was the clear parts, and then this is frame F, which looks like some rocket launchers, and yeah, looks like just for rocket launchers. So I'm gonna be using those, so that will go in the parts box. All right, now the decals. Doesn't give a manufacturer, so maybe they do their own. Some things to note: it looks pretty thin. It's really kind of glossy, but that's no big deal because I always do a clear coat. The print all looks to be in register really well. These prop decals are really nice. Now they do have carrier film in between this emblem here and the stencil data here, so there's a big chunk of carrier film, but that could be trimmed away and those put on separately. Decals for the instrument panel, those look nice. So it all looks really good. They do look pretty thin, so cleaning those up, blending them in with the fuselage shouldn't be too big of a deal. However, I probably won't be using most or any of these, and here's why. Since I'm doing a Swedish aircraft, I ordered some aftermarket decals, Digital Silk Next Generation, drawdecal.com, copyright 2019. Now, I've never used these, so we shall see how they work, but they look pretty nice. We'll open it up here in a second. But these are the two color schemes that come with this one. So it's an all metal finish with anti-glare panel there. If I'm not mistaken, Peter Persson, the chap we're doing this tribute build for, said this was called a J26, I believe. Yeah, they look pretty good. So let's open this up and take a look. All right, so this is the little deal that comes with it. So this is kind of cool looking. It shows all of the different where everything goes. I like that design with the 3 crowns. That's kind of cool. This one looks like it is the very straight fillet, dorsal fillet here. So I'll be using that one on my kit. But yeah, looks pretty good. On the back, let's see what it says. Please read these instructions. Gives the instructions. I'll maybe get into that when I actually apply the decals. Maybe I'll make it just kind of a review of the draw decals. As a matter of fact, I think I will. I'll do a completely separate video just doing a review of the decals as I apply them. But let's take a look at the decals themselves. All right, here they are. They look to be in register. They look pretty nice. They have kind of a texture to them. So because it says digital silk, I'm assuming it's maybe a silk screen type decal thing going on here. Yeah, now you probably can't see this, but man, that's some really fine printing. This is super fine right here. Let me see if I can get it up close so you can actually see it. That number 9 right there. It's very, very clear. If you had a magnifying glass or better eyes, you could read that like nobody's business. Yeah, those are really nice. They look really good. So it'll be interesting to see how they work whenever I actually put them on the aircraft. So there you have it. There is the my entry into the Peter Persson tribute build. And remember, if any of you want to join in, please respond to the video that I posted in the opening of this video here. Click on the link and just put down on there that you'd like to join in. And I'll be doing a video pretty soon, kind of giving a list of everybody who's going to take part, so everybody will kind of know what's going on. So yeah, that's my kit, the Airfix North American P51D Mustang in Swedish markings. I guess it's a J26, so that'll be fun. So here is the last part. I'd like some input from the masses. So I mentioned in my last update that I was thinking about doing this build as a kind of a twofer. Not only is it going to be for the tribute build, I was thinking about doing it as a plastic models for beginners series for anybody who would like to follow along like that, which means I would do a little bit more detailed building and you know, step-by-step kind of thing. Take a little bit more time, break it up into, you know, a number of different videos, maybe, you know, one video or per step or for every couple of steps, and just kind of go through the process beginning to end, and do it that way as kind of a you know, for beginners build. So what I would like is for anybody that is watching this, if you would just put in the comments below either yes on the beginner thing or no on the beginner thing. I'll go with what the masses want. If you know, a good chunk of you want just, you know, just an occasional update, I'll do that. If a good chunk of you would rather have a step-by-step, you know, I can do that. And, you know, keep in mind that, you know, if you don't want to watch every step, don't. You know, you can watch this intro video, hopefully, and then just check out the finale, or just check out the parts that you might be interested in. And let's do it that way. I mean, you may be only interested in the painting part of it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, let me know if any of you have any experience with this particular kit, if there's anything to look out for, anything I need to do. I would appreciate it. So, as always, thanks for watching Plastic Models by a Regular Dude and my intro video for the Persson tribute build. As always, I will see you later.